Tom Lotter has actually put in a very, very valid question, to be fair. And I am going to fire this to Chris. I'll say my answer to it and then I'll fire it to Chris after. So Tom Lotter says, thanks. Look, don't have to thank us, brother. Any question you ever want to ask on the Haste Club, feel free. If you ever want to call in, have a chat. Look, we're a lot more laid back here. We are average retail investors. Look, I'm talking for myself here. Chris is a specialist, but I am no specialist when it comes to Rocket Lab. At the Hustle Brothers, we bring all the specialists together and we like to relay it back to the retail investor. And I think that's why Chris liked to work with us under the Haste Club, because, look, we're not going to come at you with big financial words and scientific information. We will always relay it back to the retail investor. But Chris is the founder of the Haste Club, and to be fair, he is quite a big specialist. Do you know what you are, Chris? You're a specialist in conspiracies. And to be fair, most of the time, well, not most of the time, but quite a bit of the time, you can be right. But Tom Lotter, do you know if the Neutron launch pad is hurricane or storm safe? Because it seems to be in that area. I'm a bit worried that this could, I think, cause major damage someday. Now, look, this is my honest opinion. I haven't looked at this, but my honest opinion, because they're in a hotspot there from what I can imagine, I would say that, yes, they are storm safe. Hurricanes safe. Look, I'm Irish. I've never seen a hurricane in my life, so I'm not even going to answer that one. I think I'm better firing it across to the man himself who lives in Virginia. Chris, is it storm and hurricane safe?
It has to be. Since 1996, 1997, there was actually a law passed that anything within 100 feet of the coast has to have hurricane rated clippings, hurricane rated construction. It's a lot different. And as you guys know, I build koi ponds, and even though I'm surrounded by water, everyone wants waterfalls and koi ponds, and you have to learn and know the laws, local laws. So yes, when it comes to, it's the same thing for the Eastern Shore, which a lot of it's protected for wildlife. There's a lot of migration routes. You have the Chincoteague ponies that come out every year, and cross the island. It's kind of crazy because whether you're at Wallops or you're at Cape Canaveral or you're down in Texas, you're gonna have some of the best launch sites, but at the same time, you're gonna have some regulations that's gonna kind of slow you down, I guess, in a lot of ways. And we're still waiting on a lot of the, I guess, permissions for Neutron to launch in as early as September, if we hope for it. And a lot of it has to do with who you're working with and what's going on in politics, unfortunately. But right now, we see what's going on with Trump and Elon, and the U.S. government looking for alternative sources. It's funny. All right, so this is kind of funny. So as you guys know, me and Francisco, we talk daily, and we come up with some crazy ideas. And I was driving back from work, and I was being lazy, and I asked Brock. I said, "Hey, what's the Electron launch schedule? Coming up for the next 12 to 18 months?" And it mentioned something about Electron being launched out of Cape Canaveral. So of course, I just jumped on it. Man, I clicked on it. I was like, I never heard this. And we all know a lot of people in the space community. I mean, if Electron was launching out of Cape Canaveral, we would know about it by now, right? And turns out I guess it was a glitch. I don't know what it was from Grok, but it turned out to not be true. But at the same time, Francisco and I started deep diving into a lot more of the possibilities. I mean, we know that Rocket Lab does work with Space Force, and Space Force does own a base right there at Cape Canaveral with two landing or launch pads. They are rated for Falcon 9 and both ULA, which they both launch out of there. So sometimes you guys can do some crazy out of the box researching, and it turns out to be nothing. But at the same time, there can be a little bit of information there that most of us miss. And again, it can lead to a lot bigger long term contracts, a lot bigger money. Um, again, that's what we do here, man. That's what we do. You know, we think outside the box. We try and think about the craziest possible aspects of what Rocket Lab could possibly be, and feed off of that. Again, no receipts. You know, have some fun with it. Um, yeah, guys, thanks again for everything. It's a lot of fun. It's been a long week. I'm not gonna lie, and as you
I
guys
can
can
imagine.
see, I'm just kayaking on the river, so I'm trying to keep up and not drown myself or drop my phone in the water. um, but yeah, just a few thoughts off the top of my head.